Hi everyone, Leo here, welcome back to another gear comparison video. Today we are diving deep into two of the most recent and I think most interesting full range and flat response speakers on the market. The Fender ToneX FR12 and the IK Multimedia ToneX Cab. If you are using digital modelers, profilers or amp simulations, having the right FRFR cabinet is crucial for translating your digital tone to the stage. These two units represent different approaches to solving the same problem, and I think that by the end of this video we will have a better understanding of which one is the right for our particular and specific needs. We will compare the key features side by side, then we will hear the unit in action, and at the end we will summarize our findings to help each of us to make an informed decision. Let's get started comparing the tech specs of each unit. We will now compare the technical characteristics of each unit with the help of a pretty detailed comparison chart, comparing for instance the maximum SPL, the size, the controls, etc. First of all, in terms of power rating, the ToneX Cab features a 350 watts RMS, 700 watts peak Class D power amp system, while the Fender FR12 boasts a higher 1000 watt Class D rating. The Fender's power rating looks quite impressive on paper, but of course what really matters is how this translates to real-world volume capabilities. And so let's check out the next specifications. Speaking of volume, the ToneX Cab delivers a maximum SPL of 132 dBs, slightly edging out the Fender's 130 dB. This is interesting because despite its lower power rating, the ToneX Cab actually gets a bit louder, suggesting IK Multimedia's design may have more efficient power utilization or speaker configuration. For speakers, the ToneX Cab comes equipped with a custom Celestion 12 inches paired with a high-performance La Voce 1-inch compression driver. IK Multimedia specifically mentions these brands' names as it should be a premium components. The Fender FR12 uses a 12 inches woofer and a 1 inches compression driver, but Fender doesn't specify the brands or if they are custom designed. Both should deliver the full frequency range needed for model guitar tones, even if the Cab-X has a slightly better bass frequency response. In fact, the ToneX Cab offers a frequency response of 60 Hz to 20 kHz, while the Fender has a slightly narrower measured frequency response of 70 Hz to 12 kHz at -3 dBs. On paper, the ToneX should be better, but while Fender specifies the -3 dB, IK Multimedia does not mention this info, therefore we cannot be sure 100%. If you know, please drop a message in the comment section below. Of course, size may matter if you are trying to fit gear in your car or on a cramped stage. The ToneX Cab is a bit more compact compared to the Fender, that is approximately 2 inches smaller in each dimension, which is not of course a drastic difference, but could be useful if we are on tight space. Despite being smaller, ToneX Cab is a bit heavier versus the Fender's Cab, but I think the difference is pretty negligible. So portability between these two is essentially the same. Tough, the ToneX's smaller size make it easier to transport. By the way, I think that in the Fender user manual there is an error in the weight, as they probably inverted the weight of the FR10 with the one of the FR12. And this proves how much attention I try to pay to make these videos. Therefore, please subscribe and ring the bell, as it's free for you and means a lot to me. Both units feature 3-band EQ systems, but with different approaches. The ToneX Cab has a standard 3-band EQ, bass, mid, treble, plus their unique amp tone control, which is designed to simulate the resonance and feel of traditional guitar cabinets. The Fender FR12 features a 3-band EQ with center detents at the neutral position, offering plus minus 6 dB of adjustment, plus a cut control specifically for taming high frequencies. I would say that the Fender's approach is more focused on accurate reproduction with controlled adjustment, while the ToneX is aiming for the amp in the room feel. More on that in the sound section of this video. In terms of presets, we see a significant difference. ToneX Cab offers 8 recallable presets for storing our parameter settings, including EQ and amp tone settings. The Fender FR12 has no preset storage capabilities. This makes the ToneX Cab a bit more versatile for players who need multiple sounds throughout a jig without manual adjustments. The ToneX Cab includes a built-in IR loader, allowing us to import custom cabinet simulations directly into the unit. This is an interesting feature that lets us bypass the IR section in our modeler to save processing power, or allows us to use ToneX Cab with the simpler preamps that don't have IR capabilities. Another difference is related to MIDI. ToneX features MIDI implementation with both in and out ports, allowing integration with our rigs and remote control of its presets and functions. The ToneX Cab includes USB connectivity in order to transfer IR files, manage presets, install firmware updates, and integrate with the included software package. In terms of I/O, the ToneX Cab provides 1/4 inches combo jacks for both main and aux inputs, giving us more connection options. The aux input with dedicated volume control is useful for routing backing tracks or a secondary instrument. On the other hand, the Fender FR12 offers a single XLR 1/4 inch combo input. Both the units features XLR outputs for connection to FOH or recording equipment, but the ToneX Cab adds a pre-post switch that provides some more flexibility. In pre-mode, it sends an unprocessed signal directly to the output, ideal for when a sound engineer wants to control our tone. In post-mode, it sends our fully processed signal, including all EQ, amp tone and IR settings, perfect for consistent sound across venues or for linking multiple cabinets. Both the units include a ground lift switch on their outputs to help eliminate hum or buzz when connected to other equipment, so there's no difference here. Both cabinets feature classic tilt back legs, allowing us to angle the speaker up towards our ears, which is particularly useful for monitoring our sound on stage. This is a standard feature in many quality FRFR cabinets, and both manufacturers have included it. In terms of special features, I would mention that the ToneX Cab offers interchangeable covers, allowing us to customize the appearance of our cabinet or easily identify different units if we are running on stereo rig. The Fender FR12 doesn't have a similar feature, maintaining its classical Fender aesthetic, which is of course very nice. The IK Multimedia includes Amplitude 5 SE and ToneX SE software with the ToneX Cab, creating an integrated hardware-software ecosystem. The Fender FR12 does not come with bundled software, focusing solely on the hardware side of the equation. And finally, the price. The ToneX Cab is priced at $799, while the Fender FR12 comes in at a more affordable €560 or $679. Let's now hear some more sound, and we will be focusing on the main differences once more in my 2 cents section of this video. Let me briefly introduce the test we're gonna do. First of all, I have a DI track recorded here in my digital audio workstation that I'm gonna reamp, sending it to the anagram that I have over there. In the anagram, I have loaded an amp profile and a bit of plate reverb, as you can see here. Then I have both the ToneX and the FR12 a little bit inclined, as you may appreciate here, and all the settings are, in terms of equalization, are at none. I will run few tests now with the volume at 25%, 50%, and then full, and then with the full volume. Here I have a pretty good condenser mic, which is a Browner condenser mic, which is around the height of my ears, so that I can let you hear how I probably would hear the sound coming out from the speakers. Of course, I will move the microphone according to the speaker we are gonna hear in terms of left and right position. So now it is aligned with the FR12, and then for the Cabix I will move it a little bit on the left side. Of course, guys, this is not a scientific test, but I hope to be able to give you just an idea of how you would hear these two cabinets if you were in the room with me. So let's hear the test. Some considerations about the tone, guys. First of all, the ToneX Cab get much louder compared to the Fender, but when maxed out, it of course distorts our tone. We can even see it in the waveform recorded back in my digital audio workstation. It gets a bit squeezed
when the ToneX is maxed out. On the other hand, the Fender doesn't reach that volume pressure compared to the ToneX, but it stays clean even at its maximum level. Second, there is a tonal difference I can hear in my room. The Fender is, how to say, a bit like an API preamp. It is a bit more in your face. The ToneX is a bit more even, and in this way the effects, especially the reverb, is a bit more evident in my opinion with the ToneX. So the effects you may put in your signal chain can be, how to say, enhanced a bit with the ToneX. Third, let's talk about the amp in the room control. In my opinion, it also, how to say, influence the mid frequencies. Honestly, I prefer to put the control all the way to the mic position, because in this way, in my opinion, the mid frequencies are better represented, at least compared to the sound I had in mind. When you enhance the amp in the room knob, you get a bit more of that amp in the room feel, but on the other hand, the mid frequencies are kind of altered in a way that I prefer not to do. So the two speakers actually are sounding a bit differently each from the other, and of course it is a matter of taste. One more thing, the Fender is second hand, the ToneX is brand new, so maybe the ToneX needs time to, how to say, reach its highest performance, where the Fender, having been played a bit more, is more, how to say, close to its maximum performances. So please let me know your opinion in the comment section below, because I'm really curious to know what you think about the tones.
Final considerations here, and please notice that these are gonna be my personal opinions for my specific use cases, and you may not agree with me, and this is totally fine. Furthermore, IK has sent me this unit for free, while I have acquired the FR12 as a second-hand occasion. Finally, this video is not paid nor sponsored, and I'm making it as many of you as requested info and opinions about FRFR cabinets. So here we are. After examining both the Fender FR12 and the IK Multimedia ToneX Cab in detail, what are the key takeaways? The Fender FR12 offers higher power rating on paper, a straightforward approach, very good flat response for accurately reproducing our digital tones, a price advantage at €560 and $679. The IK Multimedia ToneX Cab provides more sound shaping options with its amp tone control and IR loader, great connectivity with MIDI, USB, XLR output with pre and post for different FOH setups or cab linking, more versatility with preset storage and the auxiliary input, slightly more compact dimensions, and it has also a bundled software adding a bit more value. Of course, it is priced at $799 or euros. Our choice between the two FR cabinets should depend on our specific needs. I would say choose the FR12 if you are on a tighter budget, you prefer a simpler, more straightforward approach, you already have your tones dialed in your modeler and just need accurate reproduction, you value the Fender name and aesthetic. Choose the IK Multimedia ToneX Cab if you want more tone shaping flexibility directly on the cabinet. For instance, if your modeler cannot load an IR for DSP in terms of DSP power, you need the additional connectivity options like MIDI and USB. You want the ability to load and store IRs and presets. You value the included software bundle. You prefer a slightly more compact footprint, even if the difference is tiny. You specifically want the amp in the room feel that the amp tone control aims to provide. All in all, both units are capable performers in FRFR space, and either one could be an excellent choice depending on your particular requirements and budget. If I had to purchase one myself, well, it would be a really hard choice. I would go with the ToneX Cab, as I think it's a bit more flexible and future-proof in my opinion. I mean, the price difference for me is justified in terms of features, and those features could be useful in some scenario. Therefore, if I had to spend that amount of money, I prefer to spend a bit more, as I said, to have a more future-proof solution. But of course, this is just my opinion, and I would like to have yours in the comment section below, so that together we can help other guitarists to make the right choice according to their needs. That's all for the today video. If you found this comparison helpful, please subscribe and ring the bell. If you are interested in my IRs, NAMM or ToneX profiles, you can check out the link in the card above or description below, where there is also a link to a playlist of songs of mine and to my new EP Art, Love, Freedom. This is Leo Gibson, ciao a tutti e vi voglio bene. See you soon.